everybody, and welcome back to Euro Truck Simulator 2. Last time we left off, we were in Bari. Just here, we're going to take this job, which takes us all the way down to Palermo. I guess there might be a bridge there. We're going to deliver 15 tons of apples. It's going to give us 18,000, and that will take us over the 200,000 threshold, which should be good. Hopefully my keys are sorted now. I'm hoping. We're actually okay for sleep, so I could just what is the job offer here? Oh, okay, there wasn't one. Okay, I'm a little bit there we go. Right, now I'm back. Oh, I remember, yeah, we were just off like before the airport or something, wasn't it? I think around here. Oh, whoops. There we go. Right, so we need to go. Okay, so it's still doing that thing where my weird reason my indicators are a bit screwed up, so let's just quickly go. Sorry about this. You know how it goes. We need our left turn indicator to be that, and our right turn indicator to be that. No idea why that does it like that. It's been a bit weird, but there we go. I've got a very special drink. Oh God, there we go. With me today, I'm drinking some Bundaberg root beer. It's not alcoholic. It's there we go. It's made with like vanilla, licorice, and something else. I forgot what the other ingredient is. Ginger. Okay. So it's got this like unique taste. If you've never tried root beer, you should definitely try it. I'd call it a slightly more refined Dr. Pepper. I think that might be like a slightly less sweet Dr. Pepper. I think that would probably be fair. But it's really nice. And Bundaberg is a like Australian company who do really good. And I spotted it in a shop and was like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna give myself some of that as a treat. So I'll be drinking that on this journey. I recommend give root beer a try. You never know, you might like it. I don't know why it's called. I mean, I know why it's called root, but the beer bit is a bit misleading because it isn't beer. The root is because like licorice and ginger are all roots, so it makes sense. I guess you didn't know that. Oh, we got a real storm going on here, haven't we? Jesus. But Jesus. Let's go around here. It's been a little while since I've actually played any of Euro Truck Sims. I am going to be incredibly rusty. But I was never that great at the best of times, was I? So, you know, it's the way things go sometimes. Okay. I'm assuming because the lights are on green we can just literally go around this way. I don't know how long this journey is going to be either. It's already taken us like enough time just to get to the bloody pickup point, but there you go. It's a stormy, rainy night here in Italy as we embark on what could be our last journey in Italy. That's not to say it will be my last episode of Euro Truck Sim. I think like once I've kind of gone down the boot, I'm kind of happy that I've like you know, had a look at Italy as a whole. So as I said, I'll be looking to probably buy a truck, and I might do a video on that and all that malarkey. Okay, go ahead and then right, not directly right. Why is that exclamation mark on there? I don't know. it won't be the last episode of Euro Truck Simulator 2, unless they happen to release Euro Truck Simulator 3 next week. Then it probably would be. That'll be a big day, won't it, for my channel, weirdly enough. Never thought I'd see that one coming. But the day they release Euro Truck Simulator 3, if they ever do. I don't know if they will, or I don't know if I'll still be doing this channel in the time that they do, because I still feel like they've got one big DLC left, and that's Spain. And then I think they'll probably move on. But it's such a big project to, I guess, redo the game just with better graphics, isn't it? It's like, you kind of feel like, what's the point, in a way? Just with better graphics, like, it doesn't quite make sense to me. Because Euro Truck Simulator 3, like, unless you're going to add like a lot of different things to it. Oh god, it's that thing where A isn't A, and I've got to use enter, isn't it? I don't know why it suddenly screwed up my keys there. Right, Bari to Palermo, 15 tons of apple. Take her the job. Here we go. Okay, head towards the green flag. Okay, I'm heading towards the green flag. Well, this is interesting. We've never actually picked up from a port like this before, so that's pretty cool. I don't think I'm gonna get this in here just yet. There we go. Can we move this camera any quicker, or is this like the speed at which it's gonna move? Because I had no idea where I was there. Okay. I thought I was going to smash into that container then. Not doing a great job here, am I? I feel like my lights are very, like, shit. I don't know how to turn those, like, extra lights on. Is there a button for it? Keyboards and buttons, okay. Has it warning? Light modes, L. High beam headlights, beacon horn. Light horn, wipers. Maybe it counts as beacon, which is O. We go L, O, and K. Oh, right, okay. L, O, and K. L. That just toggles that. O, K. That's high beams. No, okay. Just repair. I just can't get them on. Great stuff. Really, really great stuff. Anyway, let's get out of here in one piece with our 15 tons of apples. I love apples personally. If I was to say favourite fruit, I think I'd go apple. I think I would. Apples are good. You know, you've got the sour ones if you, fuck's sake, if you ever fancy something sour. Oh yeah, we ain't getting through here. You've got the really sweet ones. You've got juicy, you've got crispy. They're very versatile, you know, in what you can make out of them. All round a good fruit. Like, I know a lot of people might say like bananas or strawberries, but the thing with them is you only ever really get one type, don't you? Like with apples, you get many different types. You know, depending on what you like, so there's more versatility, I think, there. I'm trying to think of what other fruit you might like. Again, like most other fruits, you don't see the variety that you do in apples, so I think they've just got inherently a massive advantage in the fruit war that I have just constructed in my mind. So yeah, let me know what your favourite fruit is. But I'd go apples. I think that's probably a solid one for most people. I do like bananas a lot. I like oranges. Now oranges, if you're going to include like satsumas and clementines, like there's an argument to be said there, because that's a strong game as well. They you know, there's lots of different varieties of oranges, and obviously they're, you know, very versatile as well. Apple's probably a bit more so, and I love apple crumble so much. Yeah, And I mean, I love things like mangoes, things like that, but again, very one-dimensional fruit. If you're gonna have a mango, everybody knows what you're having, right? It's like, oh, you're having a mango. If you're like, I'm gonna have an apple, there's quite a variety that you can have. So yeah, there you go. And if I was going favourite vegetable, I think, I mean, potato is the obvious answer there, right? Like, everybody says potato, because, like, roast potato, chips, jacket potatoes, like, it's just one of the, okay, he stopped for me, thanks buddy. It's just one of the greatest all-round vegetables there's ever been, but I feel like that's a little bit unfair. So if I was going for something other than potato, which was my favourite, that'd be a tough one actually. You know, I think I would possibly go broccoli. Weirdly, I know a lot of people do not like broccoli, but I really do like it. The carrots, I only really like raw. I've never really been a fan of cooked carrots. I'm trying to think like what other vegetables are. Peas are just, they're just fiddly to eat, to be honest with you. Nice, very nice, but kind of just fiddly, you know. So I'd probably give them a skip. Wondering what else there is. I guess there's a lot of things, isn't there, really? It's an argument about tomatoes. I mean, even if it's a fruit or a vegetable, you know, whatever you want to argue, I still wouldn't make my list of either, to be fair, so it's kind of irrelevant, really. I like a good parsnip, definitely. I like most vegetables, to be fair, most fruit. But yeah, I think if I was going for something other than potatoes, which is just the king of vegetables, it's the king of side dishes, isn't it? Like if you're, you know, if you think like your main, if you're gonna have something for dinner, you're like, okay, what am I gonna have for dinner? Usually it's gonna involve some sort of meat dish, okay? If you're vegetarian, it's gonna involve some sort of like concoction of vegetable, which is going to be a dish, but on the side, like the side of that you're having with it, which wouldn't be the main meal, probably going to involve potatoes of some sort, whether you're like vegan or vegetarian or whatever. Potatoes are probably going to feature pretty heavily in your life, because they're just so damn yummy. You know, roast potatoes are obviously the king of the castle. I don't think there's anybody who's going to deny that. If you're American, I'm not sure if you really know what roast potatoes are. I mean, you might think you do, but you probably don't. Like, actual roast potatoes are just, incredible. They're just the best thing. The thing is, like, sometimes people are like, oh, I'd just have the roast potatoes on their own. Wouldn't even need the meat. But the problem with that, like, scenario is that there's like a symbiosis between the meat and the potatoes, because often you're cooking those potatoes in the juices of the meat, and as a result of which, if you didn't have those juices, you'd have a very different potato. But there you go. But you know, mashed potatoes as well, really good. Jacket potatoes. I always have this argument with my girlfriend about whether or not Americans eat jacket potatoes. It winds her up, and I know they do. But you never. Well, apparently, I can't go in that one. Oh god. Nearly crashed it. Didn't know. Miraculous. Okay, might have just tipped it a little bit there. Don't worry, those apples will be okay. I like that guy's got locks. Imagine if we were just talking for 20 minutes about locks. God, how boring would that be? At least I can talk about fruit and vegetables now. No, but I always have this argument with my girlfriend. It winds her up that Americans don't eat jacket potatoes, because you never really see or hear Americans talk about jacket potatoes, I feel anyway. You never see them in like a jacket potato in England is like a staple meal, because potatoes are dirt cheap, excuse the pun, because they come out of the dirt. A lot of people, they're easy to grow, so a lot of people do grow their own potatoes, and like I just feel like jacket potatoes potatoes are just a meal that, because the thing about, I think, a jacket potato is, the reason why I always kind of imagine it isn't that popular in America is because America doesn't have the same climate as the UK. Now I know parts of America will have a similar climate because it's very different, but I always feel like there's two climates in America. It's either really hot, in which case you don't want a jacket potato, or it's really, really cold, in which case a jacket potato might not be warm enough. You might be going for like a stew or something like that. Whereas in the UK, I feel like our wintry nights, or even sometimes our summery nights, are perfect for a good jacket potato. That is why it's one of my favourite things to eat. In fact, I've often thought of opening a restaurant which just sells jacket potatoes. But that's all it does. You just come along and you're like, yeah, can I get a jacket potato? And they're like, yeah, there you go. Like, there's just lots of different styles that you can have because it's such a versatile like food. Potatoes, you know, you can have it with anything. Personal favourite topping on a jacket potato, weirdly, I love tuna sweet corn and mayonnaise. It's a bit of the heathens one. The classics would be baked beans, cheese. I mean, that is really good, don't get me wrong. But I was always really, really, and still am in a way, partial. I don't eat that many jacket potatoes anymore. But when I was younger, I certainly did. I don't know why I don't eat them as much anymore. I should do. They're actually not even that unhealthy when you think about it either. Not like perhaps chips or roast potatoes, that type of thing. Okay, we actually do need to sleep, so I might have to. I think there's somewhere coming up here on this weird little road, which I'm not really sure what it's about. We're just on like a narrow road, not on like a. I feel like we've only been on motorways. We should probably pull in here, and no entry there, so we'd have to. Fine, I guess. There's not really anybody else. Servizio. Okay. Okay, we can get served. Okay, joystick right stick. Or just press E, that would be better. Let's fill this bad boy up while we get some here. Nice little outdoor seating area there. The tank is full. One thing's I mention a lot in this series. Oh shit. Whoops. About me driving again. I think that's been a very common theme in these like series, and I'm keen not to revisit the same points again. But I actually have another different point which is related, which is that I like motorway services or like fancy petrol stations and things like that. I know it's a bit sad in a way, and I was watching Alan Partridge the other day, and anybody who hasn't watched Alan Partridge, you can just stop this video and go and watch it because it's the greatest comedy series ever. But like, there's a lot of piss taking about like petrol stations in there because for those who don't know, I think it's the second series of I'm Alan Partridge. His friend works in a petrol station, he goes and sees him, and he kind of generally really likes the petrol station, like he gets his food there and stuff like that. It's a funny TV show. You kind of have to watch it to actually really, I think, appreciate the jokes a little bit. But it's a nice little tunnel here. But I actually like motorway service stations. Because I think I'm old enough to remember quite how bad they used to be. Like nowadays, a lot of them have like M&S food and stuff. Oh, hello, we got a big bridge coming up, guys. Fuck me, this is a big bridge. Christ. Yeah, like nowadays they have like an M&S foods and stuff like that attached to them. Like you can get actually good food at them. They sometimes have like a coffee shop there, like a branded one. They have a much better range of like food and drinks than they ever had before. You know, before it used to be like you could pick up a can of Coke and a Mars bar. Now there's just like such an array of stuff that you can pick up there, and I personally like them. I remember many years ago now, I actually went for a job at a petrol station as like a manager, and it was one of those ones which had like the kind of M&S food attached to it and stuff like that, and I ended up, no, I'll tell you a lie, I did. Right, I did not get the job. I decided not to pursue it any further. The reason being that I turned up for an interview at the place, and the area manager, the manager was really nice, really nice guy. Didn't seem like, I'm probably being really rude here, but didn't seem like the brightest guy ever, but seemed like a really nice guy, and probably, fuck off, speeding violation, it literally just changed. yeah. But it seemed like one of those people who was like, really enjoyed his job, and you know, kind of got on with things, and kind of, I was like, oh, this guy seems alright, you know. It's always an important thing to, like, I always feel when you go for job interviews, like, meet people who work there already, not just the people who are interviewing you. Talk to them about their job, because, you know, you'll be able to tell what they think of it, because the people who are interviewing you are never probably going to do your job. They're probably just, they're much higher up, probably interviewing you, especially when you go for like management positions, things. Anyway, he seemed alright, and I was like, that's cool. And he was like, yeah, sorry, my area manager who's taking interviews like running late. And the area manager was like 45 minutes late. And when he kind of came along, he just seemed like such a like cowboy, I would use the term, of like the questions he was asking me were terrible questions. Like, I can't actually remember off the top of my head, but I remember just thinking like, this guy is just awful. Like, and I was thinking to myself like, an important thing, like if you're going to be working for someone, you have to respect them. And if I was already in that interview and I'm like, this guy seems like really bad at his job, could it be that I got him on an off day anyway? But I was like, yeah, you know, and they offered me like, yeah, there's a second stage interview, you need to go along to this, and I was just like, no, I'm good, thanks. You'd be amazed, actually. Like, it sounds quite arrogant, but I've turned a lot of jobs, not jobs down, but I've gone to interviews or second stage interviews and just been like, nah, because you gotta trust your gut instinct on some things. Sometimes I think it's really important, you know, even if like the money they're offering is really good, or you know, even if you're thinking like this job's gonna be really good, if there's something, you know, like, you know, people say like gut instinct, but it's more like subconscious, which is saying to you, hey, there's warning signs here about whatever this is going on here. Whether it's the people working there seem like unhappy, or whether or not like the promises they're making seem too good to be true, or you know, that kind of thing, or just the people interviewing you are like not very professional about the way they do things. You know, sometimes you got to trust your gut instinct on stuff and just be like, yeah, I think I'll pass, you know. If obviously if you're in a position to be able to do so, it's one of the important things. Yeah, so I've passed a few different jobs before. I remember one where I was going through an agency and they were like, oh yeah, we're really interested in you, blah blah blah. Yeah, we'd like you to come for an interview, and I'm like, okay, sure, no problem. They're like, at that time I was living in like Milton Keynes, I think. Yeah, I was in Milton Keynes, and they were like, yeah, we'd like you to come to Leeds, and I was like, and bear in mind the place I was applying for was maybe a half-hour drive away from where I lived. And they were like, yeah, we'd like you to come to our restaurant in Leeds. Now, part of me was thinking, like, maybe this is a bit of a test to see how much people want this job. But then the other half of me was thinking, like, why the fuck would I want to drive for, like, 4 hours to get to Leeds, do an interview, then drive 4 hours back again? Like, it just didn't seem right. And I was like, I'm going to pass. think like, oh, that could have been a really good job and everything like that. But my gut instinct was like, you know, these people are not that serious. Like, if somebody's expecting you to do a round trip of about 8 hours just to interview for a job, either they have a shit ton of candidates and they don't give a fuck, or they are not interested in you whatsoever and don't want to waste a trip to see you. So either way, it's like, this is nice out here. This is very nice. Either way, it's probably not a very good sign, you know. Obviously, if I was going for a job in Leeds and they were like, yeah, we need to come here for an interview, I would understand. But the job was like half an hour away, and they were asking me to travel all this way for an interview, and I was like, no, I'm good. I'm trying to think what other jobs I've turned down for petty reasons over the years. God, I don't know, but like when you, like a friend of mine, was telling me who I work with was like, he went for a job the other day and they were like, oh yeah, we've got all these like tests for you to sign and all this kind of stuff, and like, he had to do like a maths test, he had to do like an English test, he had to do all this type of stuff, and you're like, the job he was applying for, he was telling me, was like working in a warehouse, being a forklift truck driver, and I was like, why do you need an English test? Like, if you can read and write, surely that's like the level. He was like, yeah, I know. He was like, the job was like about £1 above minimum wage an hour. It's like, it's not exactly, you know, like he was running a massive team or something like that. It was like a strange one. I remember another one years ago as well. I went for a job at this restaurant that it was a nice restaurant. It's a quite a well-known like seafood restaurant in the UK, and I had to do a maths test with them as well. I never really understood why. Like, quite a lot of the time when you go for jobs, like as a manager of a place, you have to have a really good understanding of financials, okay? And but to do a maths test is totally fucking irrelevant, because like, understanding financials and doing maths is something very, very different. Like, analytical skills and maths is something very different. Yes, look, analytics is about looking at data and picking information out from it, and data is maths in a way, but these tests were like, you know, they were like multiplication, you know, division, all this type of stuff, and you're like, how is any of this relevant? Like, and quite often in the interview you do after that, you know, they want you to go through like a P&L, a profit and loss chart and stuff like that, and financials, and you know, expect you to talk about that anyway. So you're like, what was even the point of this? I never really understood it. It doesn't, like, especially in the line of work I usually have, like, people skills are way more important than any sort of financial skills, because generally if you're working for a large company, they deal with a lot of the financial side, and it's up to you. Sure, you have to have a good knowledge of it because it's your point to make the money, but it's not like you're you know, paying bills and negotiating contracts and stuff like that. That's usually all done for you. So I never really understood that. Oh, look at this bridge as well. We're getting treats today, aren't we? Fuck me. This is a nice one. Wow. Italy. Nice bridge. Oh shit. There's a car. Nearly took him out. I like the fact that it's split across two. That's really cool. That's very cool. Yeah, and anyway, so I had like interviews with them, and then they wanted me to do a trial shift. Now, I think I've spoken before about trial shifts and my thoughts on trial shifts, which are the fucking worst things in the world ever. Apparently I have to go right here. It's weird. Okay, well, never mind. I want to go through the tunnel though, that's not fair. Oh wow, look at this coastline around here. Oh wow. Oh, that is stunning. I'm glad we're on the outside view. is really nice. Yeah, trial shifts are pointless in my opinion, because you end up most of the time not knowing what the fuck you're doing, just feeling genuinely really awkward about stuff, and people often don't know kind of what to do with you, and especially when you're going to work for somewhere that's completely different. So if anybody's worked in multiple different restaurants, you'll know that most of the time they have very different ways of doing things, like different layout, different setups. You know, sure, the general basis is the same. You know, you take a customer's order, you make the food, you take it out to them. You know, they eat the food, they pay the bill, they leave. That's a general consensus of the business. But you know, depending on what food you're serving and stuff like that, and depending on the process in the kitchen, you know, depending on so many different things, it's so different. So often, like, I remember going on this trial shift and just feeling so awkward the whole time, just really awkward. What didn't help was a few weeks beforehand I had damaged my knee ligaments, and as a result I'd been on crutches for like, maybe I'd come off crutches a couple of days before this, and I was like, well, I don't want to tell them about this because you know, kind of in a weird way I was thinking like, oh, they might not want somebody who was injured, but looking back at it, I'm like, I'm not a fucking professional sportsman. I'm sure like the fact that I was walking they would have just been like, oh yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine in like a couple of weeks. You know, by the time he'll probably join us anyway. But for some reason, yeah, I didn't want to say anything, and like, I hadn't really walked a lot the last couple of weeks, and as a result, like, my knee was really hurting by the end of it, but I didn't want to say anything again. And like the next day it ballooned up, like swelled right up, and I was like, oh shit. This is a lovely little town, isn't it? Villa San Giovanni. Nice. Get my thumbs up. Yeah, I didn't get the job, unsurprisingly. That's another thing as well, like, when you're looking for a job, okay, my advice is always never put all your eggs in one basket. Like, never just turn around and be like, oh, this is the one job I want, you know, I'm gonna go for this job, because you never know what's gonna happen. Like, literally, you could be like the 99% candidate, like 99% of what you want is, or what they want is you, you know, and on any other given day you could be the perfect candidate, but on this particular day someone might come in who's the 100% candidate, and then they have to choose that person, or you know, they do choose that person over you, and like, you never know what is going to happen. Like, I've not got more jobs than I've like had in my life, and I've had a lot of jobs in my life. I just saw entrata as in entrance. Oh god. I realised I was getting in the exit. Oh, this is cool. Look, we're getting a little ferry over. This is awesome. Yeah, like, I would have been, I guess I wouldn't have been screwed. I could have just turned right there, but never mind. Okay, we're going to hit that little anchor sign. This is awesome, man. I haven't been on a ferry for years. Actually, that is a lie. I've been on a ferry a few months back, but it didn't really count because it literally crossed a, okay, we're going to arrive in Messina. Yeah, it crossed a river, and it wasn't a ferry, it was a boat, but it was called a ferry, if that makes sense. It was fun though. I haven't been on a boat in a while either. It was actually a little bit worrying because the boat was really low. It was kind of like one of those like Navy SEAL speedboat type things you see, but like a lot squarer and a lot slower. But it was like really low in the water. Like, it was probably only maybe like 30 centimetres above the water level. Now, the river wasn't exactly raging or anything, so it wasn't a problem, but I was just like, this feels a bit weird. say I've been on that many boats in my life, to be fair. I've been on some ferries. I've been on the ferry across the Channel to France, and I've been to the Isle of Wight as well on a ferry. They're all fine. I did get a bit seasick, I remember, on the way to France, and we were going across one of the long, like, ones which is like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 hours. The short ones are like 90 minutes or something like that. I think you can get from like Dover to Calais. But yeah. There you go. Okay, let's try not to sneeze now. Actually, just had one come on. If you try not to sneeze, here's a really good tip. 1. Put your tongue at the top of your mouth. 2. Take a really deep breath through your nose. Never fails. You don't end up needing to sneeze. So if you're ever in a situation where you are hiding somewhere and there's a murderer trying to kill you, and you feel a sneeze coming on, don't try and like grab your nose or something like that. Just simply, take a big like breath inwards through your nose and put your tongue at the top of your mouth. Simple. No sneeze. No sneeze, no death. Simples. Oh, fuck off, you lights. You've tuned this every time to me. Oh, this looks nice though. Around here. At least I can take another sip of root beer. This is like full sugar root beer as well, so it's really syrupy, which I don't mind, but it's like I couldn't drink a lot of it, if that makes sense. Like, I'm a big fan of Diet Coke. Well, no, I'm not, actually, that's a lie. I'm a big fan of Coke Zero or Diet Pepsi. I can't stand like the full fat Coke and stuff like that. I think it's disgusting. It's so sugary. But I like the diet ones. I can drink a lot of that. It's not very good for you, and you shouldn't really. But frankly, on the list of vices, like considering I don't drink, I don't take any drugs, I don't smoke. Like, I think it's not that bad that I drink a fair amount of like diet soda drinks. People always moan about that, and then there's all people who go out and drink like 9 pints on a night out, or like smoke, or do all that type of thing, and I'm like, it's not that bad. Or drink like 18 cups of coffee in a day, and then try and lecture somebody about drinking Diet Coke, and you're like, right, yeah. Anyway, my hierarchy. Okay, so I'll tell you 2 hierarchies, because today's been a little bit about hierarchies and lists of things. So my personal favourite of the 6 sodas that they primarily do in the UK, not including flavoured ones. So that would be Coke, Diet Coke, Coke Zero, Pepsi, Diet Pepsi, Pepsi Max. Like, my favourite to least favourite would be first Coke Zero. I know, I'm weird. Second, Pepsi Max. Third, Diet Pepsi. Fourth, Diet Coke. Fifth, Pepsi. Sixth, Coke. Yeah, I know I'm weird. Okay, that's the way it goes. I don't want to get involved in the whole vanilla and cherry and all that. Like, the list would be way too long. I like both of those, but it would be ridiculous. And they did this one recently, like Coca-Cola. I forgot the name of it now, but it was like green. Not the actual drink, I don't think it was green. Like the can was green, or bottle was green. I can't remember, and it was like half sugar or something like that. And you're like, what the fuck's the point of this? Like, you already do 2 zero sugar Cokes. Like, I don't know. Anyway, you don't see it anymore, do you? Pretty much says it all. yeah, I think that's it. So number one is the glass bottle. The glass bottle, Coke or Pepsi, is the best, without a doubt. Everything tastes better in a glass bottle. No, it's not a myth, and yes, it is expensive, but it just tastes better. The next one would be the can. Again, I think it's something to do with the way that the glass bottle and the can get colder than just a plastic bottle does. The way it just feels like colder in your hands and stuff like that. So it's probably like more of a psychological thing. There's a car coming. Yeah, I think like those two are like my favourite. Then would be probably the 500ml bottle. Then would be the large bottle. Then would probably be the Postmix. But that's if you're just talking about Postmix on its own. Now, generally, because that's served in a glass with ice, I think that adds something to it. So it would go above. For me, it would be just below the can, because the fundamental thing about any like soda drink is it has to be cold. Like nobody wants it warm. It's awful. Or even not that, even a bit cold. It's not good enough. It has to be fully cold for there to be, in my opinion anyway, for it to be a nice drink. And you might be like, oh, I don't drink soda, it's disgusting. Okay, good for you. I'm really happy for you. But I do, and this is my video, and I'm talking about it. I do enjoy drinking tea, and I enjoy drinking water, and I enjoy drinking orange juice, and the occasional beer, or the occasional root beer as well, on a special occasion. But that's generally it. And as I say, I don't have many vices in my life, I feel, anyway, which, you know, someone looking in would go, oh, you live an unhealthy life, you know, your lifestyle's unhealthy or whatever. So I feel like right now I don't need to stop drinking soda. I probably should though, but that's with anything in life, isn't it? When people are like, I shouldn't drink as much like coffee, or I shouldn't drink as much tea, or I shouldn't have as much sugar, or I shouldn't have as much salt, or I shouldn't have as much. It's like, for fuck's sake, you know, life can be pretty fucking miserable sometimes, and like, if you're just gonna live for 85 years of that, constantly denying yourself things you want all the time just because you want to live for another few years extra, it's going to be a pretty miserable life. And on the other hand, you don't want to gorge yourself on everything and live 30 years. Like, you want to, or you know, perhaps live 50, but the last 20 are just painful because you're in and out of hospital and all that type of stuff. Like, I hate this kind of YOLO attitude. Oh well, you only live once, you might as well do it. And then someone like jumps off a cliff and you're literally saying, this is my only life, I need to enjoy it. I understand, but you also need to look after it as well, because it's your only one. So just jump off a fucking cliff. Yeah, so I hate when people use like YOLO in that term. I don't have a problem with it when people use it for like maybe an opportunity, like, oh, you know, maybe I'm going to go a bit into debt, but this is an opportunity to go maybe and study in another country, or to go visit another country, or, you know, something like that, or an opportunity to work somewhere that I've always wanted to. Like, that's kind of YOLO, not, oh man, I'm only going to live once, so I definitely got to jump off this moving train into a pile of hay. I don't know if that's a thing anybody's done. It's what I suddenly thought about. 61 euros. Monkey bastard. Do you know, I found this YouTube channel, an ASMR YouTube channel. It's so cool. It's called Check It Out, and it's this very like softly spoken Indian guy, and basically he just kind of like reviews like things, but not like normal people review. Like, computers or video games or books. No, he just literally seems to pick up like random stuff from the shops. Like it might be one week a toothbrush, or it might be like a different type of like drink, like a milk drink, or it might be like a kid's toy, or it might be like just random stuff, and they never usually cost that much. I have seen it. He has done like an iPhone review and stuff like that, and the reviews are always like about 2 minutes long, 2 to 3 minutes long, and they're always really positive. That's the thing which I really like about it, is the fact that he always likes the thing that he's kind of reviewing, and I'm like, this guy lives a really happy life. I think, I don't know if he does, but I kind of look at it and go, he enjoys the smaller things in life, and I kind of envious of this guy a lot. And he's got like so many videos as well, and as I said, they're very short, but there's just something really nice about them. I always feel like, as weird as it sounds, if I was ever a reviewer, I would only review things I liked, because I hate being negative about a lot of things all the time. Like it's just a very, like, leaves a horrible feeling, if you know what I mean. Like it's if something is negative in your life, if you don't like something, then just don't do it, or don't get involved in whatever that is, and just focus on like the positives. Like for me, I don't like Overwatch, but I don't bang on all the time about how shit Overwatch is and how bad it is, because there's only people that enjoy it, and I'm really happy they enjoy it. I've got many other games I can go and enjoy, so it doesn't worry me in the slightest that they're doing a whole E-League on it, and it's called Owl, or anything like that, and we're in Palermo. Yeah, like, let people enjoy the things they want to enjoy, Don't be jealous just because you don't like something. This is a kind of an important thing in life. So that's 10 out of 23 cities, I guess, that we have to visit. Palermo's nice, isn't it? Very tropical. Oh, fucking speeding. It did it again. It just completely dropped the speed on me. I think this has been a good episode. I've enjoyed this one. Ranking my favourite vegetables and fruit. To talking about Overwatch. Talking about my favourite Coke. Not that type of Coke. And yeah, it's just been good. I've really enjoyed it. Actually, that's what I've always enjoyed about the Euro Truck series, is that it just allows me to waffle on about nonsense for 45 minutes, and that's kind of nice, there's no like real skill barrier here. No one's really judging me that much. I mean, people do still take the piss when I crash into something, which is fair enough. I totally accept that. Oh wow, look at the waves. That's some Elder Scrolls Oblivion type technology going on there. It's a nice jumper though. BB. Okay. Let's go. Let's take us over the 200k threshold, so whenever I do another video on this, I'll make sure that we buy a new truck and do all that type of stuff. And I will do some more videos on it, so don't worry. But I don't know when, so bear with me on that. Renault truck dealership. They're apparently the worst trucks in the game. They're Renaults. Apparently the best trucks are the Scania and what the fuck is going on here? Dude. What is going on here? Scania, Volvo and DAF, apparently, with Mercedes as well. I think Mercedes are added later. Are all really good trucks. Apparently this is a big like thing here, isn't it? Massive. it's a supermercado. Well, they've got their 15 tons of apples now, haven't they? Let's call that 14.9 tons because I probably ate one on the way. You know what? It's been a good episode. Let's put it where they need it. Ooh, that's what she said. I love The Office as well. God, it's such a good TV show. If I was to be like, if you can watch any two comedy TV shows, Alan Partridge and The Office would be my absolute recommendations. I just realised I went exactly the wrong way here. What the fuck am I doing here? Okay, it's because I'm looking the opposite way, so it's reversed. Oh god. Right, let's start again. Right. Okay, let's get these Michelin tyres round. I'll miss this truck, I really will, but what I'll do is I'll hire another driver and get them to drive around. I could just like carry on driving this truck and pay off my loan, but listen, I'm fiscally like prudent in real life. I don't want to be in a video game. I'm not actually in real life. To be completely honest with you, I should be, but especially at my age, I should know better. But there you go. Okay, this is not going too well. Oh, I've still got my cooler box though. I'd like to think that's full of like Diet Coke, not Diet Coke, Coke Zero. You know, I'm thinking about it now, and I'm thinking like my taste does change just vary from like moment to moment. I think like Diet Pepsi should possibly be higher than Pepsi Max. Pepsi Max is nice, but it's a little bit perhaps too sweet sometimes. Shit. Okay. No. Okay. Easy does it, Dave. Easy does it. I was calling the driver Dave for some reason, even though technically it's me. So it should be Phil, but you know what I'm saying. Bit more right hand down, Dave. Bit more right hand down. No. Oh, look at that. Boom. I am the champion. The champion of Euro Truck Simulator. 18,000. Takes us over the 2K. Oh, enemy leveled up. Okay, cool. Sure. Let's get that, because now we can work with dynamite, fireworks, and ammunition. Yay. Cool. 200,000. Next time we'll have a look for some trucks. We've done Italy. Look at that. I mean, yes, we haven't been to Catania, Cazzano, Taranto, Cassino, Napoli, Terni, Bologna, all these places, admittedly. Oh my god, 125,000 Roma to Aberdeen. With a 23-ton arsenic payload. Fuck. That would be a trip. If we looked from Palermo to the top of Sweden. Wow, look at the size of that trip. Trip time 50 hours. That would probably be a 2-hour video, I think. No, I'm not doing it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.